Good morning. So I'd like to first start out, I know it's a fifth grade mass, so I'd like to invite all of our fifth graders to come up in front of the sanctuary here and have a seat. Would you be willing to do that for me? Go ahead, have a seat. All right. So when I was about your age, my father, he had a job. His business was a parking garage in New York City, in Manhattan. You know where that is? Do you know where New York City is? Right over the bridge? Yeah, okay. So he had a big building, and he was responsible for keeping people's cars safe and keeping them there when people needed to get their cars. They would park over there and go to work. And I had a lot of good memories there, especially during the summertime when we got out of school. I would go there, and probably when I was a little bit older than you, I actually learned how to drive a car there, which was pretty cool, right? And I actually even learned how to drive a manual transmission. Do any of you know what that is? No? You don't even know, right? You probably never even been in a car with a stick shift, right, Mom and Dad? You know it? All right. Probably few and far between now. But anyway, I learned that there. And so when I was your age, and I'm sure not like any of you, I would get in trouble every now and then, all right? Because there was a candy store down the street, around the corner, and they used to sell these little boxes of what they used to call bang snaps. And what you would do is you throw it on the ground, and it would make like a popping sound, right? Do they sell them anymore? Yeah. They do? Oh, all right. Don't buy them, all right? You'll get in trouble. So I'd go to my dad's garage, and I would go up to the roof of the garage, and I would look down over the edge on the sidewalk at the street, and I'd see the guard dogs sleeping outside by the garage door. And me, looking for trouble, I would throw these bang snaps off, and they would start popping, and then the dogs would start barking, and they'd be barking at the customers and everything, and then after a couple minutes, my father and my uncle would look up at me, and they'd be yelling at me, and I'd get in trouble. But I know you guys don't do that. No, I could tell. So lots of good memories there, right? And then one night, I have to say, I don't even remember what time of night it was. I just know it was like in the early morning or late night hours when nothing is going on. And I woke up suddenly because my parents were speaking very loudly on the other side of my bedroom door. And there was doors closing and opening, and I could hear like footsteps, and there was clearly like some type of a crisis going on. And I have to say, I was scared. I didn't know what was happening. And then finally, outside my bedroom window where my dad would park his car, I heard his car start up, and he drove off into the night. And I finally felt like I had enough courage to open up the door and to go outside. And I asked my mom, like, what's going on? And my mom said, your father just got a call from work. Some young men had broken into the garage, and they stole about 5 cars. So there was obviously a lot of panic going on in my house that night, right? Because not only did it feel like we were violated, right? Like somebody came into our business and stole some stuff from my father, but all those people that depended on my dad to take care of their cars, he really felt like he let them down, And so a good question that you might ask, and one that I certainly asked is, well, didn't he have locks on the doors? Yeah, he had locks on the doors. He had locks on the windows. Not only that, but he had an alarm system. And what else did I just say he had there? He had some guard dogs there, right? I think they just threw some food in the office, and the dogs worried about the food. They didn't even bark at the bad guys, right? So I share this with you because it was a very shocking and memorable experience for me and my family because we were not expecting that to happen, especially not in the middle of the night, right? And so I don't know if you paid attention to that second reading. You two boys did, right? St. Paul's letter to the Thessalonians. Very good, all right? So just to give you an idea of what that means is, all right? Not long after Jesus was risen from the dead, right, St. Paul started establishing churches of early Christians all around the area, okay? And one of those early churches was Thessalonica, all right? Very similar to like a parish that we have here at St. Elizabeth's. So they were called the Thessalonians, all right? And they were getting antsy because they were all saying, wait a minute, the day of the Lord is supposed to be coming, and we're expecting Jesus to come back. This was only a few years after Jesus had been risen and ascended into heaven. And they were getting worried. Like, what's going on here, Paul? You said that Jesus was going to be coming back. Like, we're getting concerned because every day we get up, we're looking in the sky. We don't see him. We don't know what's going on. And so St. Paul responded with this letter that he wrote to the church, the Thessalonians. Okay? And he said, listen, he goes, you and I don't know the day of the Lord. You and I don't know when it's going to be here. But we do know that it's going to come like a thief in the night, right? When we least expect it. Okay? So in order to be prepared, do you remember what he said to the Thessalonians in that letter? What did he tell the Thessalonians that they had to do to be prepared? Do you remember? He said you need to be awake and sober. It means you need to be alert for everything that's going on. All right? Now, you are all way too young to know how to work like a midnight shift, right? I'm sure some moms and dads over here, some nurses, police officers, firefighters, security, and all kinds of people had to work overnight. Can you imagine staying up for 8-10 hours overnight while everybody's sleeping and trying to be alert and waiting for something to happen? It's really hard to do, okay? Especially as an adult, if you don't have any coffee, it's going to be really hard. All right? Now imagine for 8 hours, 8 hours we can do, right? It's going to go by like that. But imagine trying to stay alert and awake like that for your entire life. That's even more difficult, right? Because as we're expecting this big event to occur, we're getting distracted with all kinds of things, right? And the kinds of distractions that I'm talking about might be, maybe you're playing too many video games. Maybe you're not doing your homework. Maybe we're not listening to mom and dad. Maybe we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing, right? So those are things that can distract us and not make us aware and alert anymore. Okay? So my question is, what does this mean? What does the day of the Lord mean? What is it that we're supposed to be staying awake and alert for? Do you know what that means? And it's okay if you don't, because I'm going to explain it the best I can in a little bit of a nutshell here, okay? So we know that Jesus was crucified, right? We know that he rose from the dead. Yes, we know this, right? What holiday do we call that? No, he rose from the dead on Easter. Good, all right. Don't say Christmas. I'm going to talk to your catechist. All right? Easter, right? And he was here for 50 days and he ascended into heaven. And he said, I will be back. I will come back. And that's what they were waiting for. But what does that mean? Listen, we say it when we say the creed at every Mass, right? It's at the end of the creed. I believe in the resurrection of the dead and the life of the world to come. Jesus is promising us a whole new creation, a whole new world. Everyone who's died will be raised up, will be resurrected. All the souls will be reunited with their bodies, in glorified bodies, not these bodies with wrinkles and needing eyeglasses and all kinds of stuff, right? No more death. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful, all right? And he's promised us a share in this. But there's a couple things that we have to do to stay alert, all right? And when he comes back, he's going to ask each one of us, how have you done following me? How have you done living like me? How have you done living my commandments like I asked you to, like I commanded you to? Are we ready to give an answer to that question when Jesus comes up to us? Right? Have I listened to mom and dad? Have I done my homework? Have I been kind to others? Have I forgiven people who've hurt me? Right? Some of the things that we're doing today, what are the gifts that you're bringing up today? What are you bringing? Socks?
Socks and underwear.
Socks and underwear. Why are you bringing in socks and underwear? Who's it for? Who's it for? It's for people that need socks to keep warm, right? And that's one of the big commandments that Jesus asked us to do. He commanded us to do, to take care of our brothers and sisters who are in need, yes? So what you're doing today is you're fulfilling what Jesus commanded us to do. So listen, after Mass, if it just so happens that today is the day of the Lord, all right, if he comes into the parking lot after Mass, you can say, Jesus, I was helping my brothers and sisters by bringing in socks, right? Keeping them warm, yes? That's what he's calling us to do. All right, so before we depart here, there's one verse I'm going to share with you that I think we can all take with us as we leave Mass, and especially celebrating, what holiday are we celebrating this week? Thanksgiving. All right. I know everybody's celebrating Christmas early, but let's not get crazy, right? All right. So one gospel verse I want us all to take with us this week as we go out there, okay? Can you remember this? Yeah? You look pretty smart. All right? All right, I'm going to tell you. You ready? Jesus said, "Whatever you do for the least one of my brothers, you did it for me." You think you got it? Okay. I want you to have an awesome Thanksgiving. Be thankful for everything that we have, okay? And go out and continue to follow Jesus. Yes? All right. Amen. All right. Let's orderly go back to our seats, okay? Awesome.